to another episode of Love from a Distance, where we turn away from the chaos in the world and focus on the love in our hearts. Today's episode of Love from a Distance is the second installment of our two-part series highlighting the importance of self-care, brought to you in partnership with My Black is Beautiful. Together, we are redefining what it means to be strong in the Black community. And what better day to celebrate women and explore our relationship with our self-care than on Mother's Day, with our well-known mom and guest, Tina Knowles-Lawson. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, here with me today, as always, it is my pleasure, my fun, to introduce my co-host, my friend, and dear and infinitely worthy sister, Iyanla Vanzant. Hey, you.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm so very well. How are you?
Good. So now today, my hair's up, your hair's down. We're going to get this together.
That's one of the beautiful things about Black women. You just never know what we're going to do when it comes to our hair, right?
Right. Did you go out this week?
No, I didn't really. I have to tell you now, I don't know how to let our audience know the very, 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 very funny video that you sent me. And that thing had me laughing so much that if there is some way, guys, if there is some way for us to put it up on our socials.
It's on my Facebook page.
It's on
my Facebook page.
Your
Facebook
Facebook
page.
Up
on my Facebook page.
Okay. All right. I am not going to ruin it for you. Just go to Iyanla's Facebook page and know that when you sent me that video, not only did I have a fantastic laugh, I literally sent it to about 30 people.
I know. Yeah, they've got to go to Dr. Iyanla Vanzant, and it's right at the top of my page. Well, I only went out once this week, but let me tell you about my trauma, my COVID-19 trauma. I was in my kitchen, minding my business. I wasn't even late night snacking. It was in the middle of the day. And there across my kitchen floor came a mouse, Tina, a mouse. You know, I live in the country.
Yeah.
And so field mice have a tendency to come through our pipes and stuff. And listen, I got about 15 glue traps. My whole kitchen floor was covered with glue traps because I can't have no mouse in my house. And then if there's one, there's more. They got cousins. They bring cousins. So I called Terminex. I said, I don't care. Send your president, your board chairperson, your mama. I don't care. Somebody got to come do something up in here because I caught him. I didn't kill him. I caught it. I threw a bowl over it. And then I put him in the dustpan.
Okay, so then you threw the bowl on top of him.
Yeah. And
you dragged the bowl to
the... I put it on a dustpan, and then I took the dustpan outside, let the foxes have him. I wasn't going to kill him.
Was it running the whole time as you were dragging him?
Yeah.
Lord,
yeah.
That person.
Yeah. But he ain't in here, so I don't care. Him, her, I don't care. I hope his mama ain't looking for him because he got...
That is funny.
A mouse in my kitchen. I'm a Virgo. That is like blasphemy.
I didn't know you were a Virgo.
You can't be in my house.
We're supposed to get along. And that works, right?
Yeah. Let's see who's in the house. We got New Jersey in the house, Orlando. We got Dallas, Texas in the house. We got Romeoville, Illinois in the house. Atlanta tuning in, Colorado. We got Dominican Republic and Bay Area, Brooklyn. Hey, Oakland's in the house. Yeah. Did that say Botswana? Botswana's in the house. Birmingham, Alabama. Oh, we got a full house tonight. They don't come see us. The Philippines is in the house. Canada's in the house. Nairobi, Kenya's in the house. Barbados, East Point, Georgia. St. Croix is in the house. The nation's capital. Do we have a nation? And does it have a capital? Yeah. Okay. So Boogie Down Bronx is here. Boogie Down Bronx is here. Okay, we can start now. The Boogie Down Bronx is here. I don't see Philly, but I'm sure they in there somewhere.
Okay, fantastic. So, well, I am truly, truly, truly excited, as I know you are. So all of you already know who today's dear and worthy guest is. And she is dear and worthy because we all are dear and worthy. However, she is one of the most recognizable and adored mothers in America. She is equally recognized as a brilliant fashion designer, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. She began her career as a stylist for the superstar group Destiny's Child, and later designed for Beyonce's world music tours, television performances, and red carpet experiences. Today, with her husband, actor Richard Lawson, her latest philanthropic initiative is the launch of the nonprofit WACO Theater Center in Los Angeles, a center dedicated to the empowerment of artists and creating a space where art can occur. I love that. Yeah. On these notes of motherhood and art and creativity and straight up fierceness, let's share the love with Miss Tina Knowles-Lawson.
Yay! How are you, Miss Tina?
I'm good. How are you guys? It's so good to be here.
So good to see you.
Pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
You're a mother, a philanthropist. You know, you Miss Tina. Even though you're the queen bee's mother, you the grand bee now.
Yeah, but you know, I realized something, that I had always been all of those things. I just didn't want to embrace them, you know, and make the best of them, because I was always, you know, managing and doing a lot of these things that I'm doing, that I'm known for doing now. I just didn't want the credit for them. I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't feel like I deserved it, you know.
So what shifted? What shifted for you? Hold on one second.
What shifted is freedom.
I think that you're saying this is really great information for a lot of women who are watching. And if you can say a little bit more about your understanding or coming to the point of knowing that you needed to take care of yourself.
Well, basically, I was just saying that, you know, for so many years, I put everybody ahead of me. And sometimes I still do. But, you know, after many years of therapy and just realizing that I'm important too. And sometimes we as mothers, once I had a kid, I'll tell you, you know, I screwed up a bunch of things, but that was one thing. When I had Beyonce, I said, you know what, I might screw everything else up, but I'm not gonna screw this up. So I read every book, I got every bit of advice, I put 100% into my child. And, you know, when I had Solange, the same thing. And so it's like, you think that you have to do that because you want to get it right, but you really don't have to give up yourself for, you know, give up everything in your life for your kids, you know?
But you know, we don't come with a manual. It's so instinctual, you know? And yes. Of course, the mama bear, she's gonna hover over those pups and keep them safe. And in that process, I think that's how we lose each other, which brings to mind something for me, because there are a lot of single moms right now out there working on frontline essential workers, you know, nurses, bus drivers, postal people, and they're doing it because they've got to feed the babies.
Yeah.
You know, because we will do whatever is required.
Whatever it takes.
To feed the babies. But you know, I feel a way about it. I just feel a way about it. What are your thoughts about that?
What do you mean a way of, I don't understand.
I feel like, you know, particularly the women who are raising children alone, I'm wondering if there couldn't have been a stimulus package for them, you know?
Oh, well,
that they could have.
It absolutely should be.
Yeah.
You know, for any men or women that are raising kids alone, because I know a lot of men that are raising their kids along as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so these moms are out there, you know, every day, and the kids are home because the kids aren't in school. I just wish there had been some sort of consideration in the stimulus package where maybe they could work 3 days instead of 5 or
absolutely.
So that they didn't have to be out there on the front line. I've talked
and I don't know what they're doing for childcare, because if you're accustomed to your kid being in school and they're little kids, then that means you got babysitting expenses as well, you know?
Well,
Hopefully they have a parent.
A lot of babysitters aren't babysitting.
True. Very true.
And a lot of our children are home alone.
Yeah.
A lot of our children are home alone. So, you know, but again, because of the times that we're living in, and because once the woman becomes a mom, she just forgets about her self-care, her self-preservation.
A lot of times.
Yeah. We do that.
For many years, but I can say that later I began to feel the, you know, the pressure of that. And I did change some things. And I did have one day that I tried to at least have an afternoon for myself, you know. But it took a long time for me to get there.
When you say you began to feel the pressures of that, what do you mean? Because I know that there are a lot of people who are feeling things inside and they may not have identified those things.
Well, what happened to me is, you know, I like I said, for 5 years I didn't work, and I kept Beyonce, and I didn't want anybody to keep her because I was so paranoid, and you know, and after I had my second child, I opened my business. So I worked 12 hours a day, 3 days a week, and I was with my kids 4 days a week, and you know, they were in dance class, and one ran track, and so they had all these different activities that were going on. And before I knew it, 7 days a week went to church on Sundays. After we went to church, we went to the movies. I mean, we went to eat, then we went to the movies. And I was like, when do I ever get a chance to have some time? And it took me till, I think Solange was probably 2, and they're 5 years apart. And then I started saying, you know what? I'm going to take a day. So on Monday afternoons, I did me, you know, whether it was going to, I've always been a spa person. Yeah. So, you know, go and get a facial or a massage or having lunch with my girlfriends, because you find that your vocabulary, you know, after those 5 years, it shrank so much that I was talking about, you know, talking like a 5-year-old, because you have to have interaction with your girlfriends. You have to have interaction with your family. You got to go out sometime and party and have a drink and let loose, you know?
Yeah.
But it took me a while to get there.
It takes some of us ain't there yet. It took me a long time.
True.
You know, I cooked 3 meals a day, every day for 18 years.
Wow.
When my son turned, no, he was probably 16, is when I started I had a lot of slippage in my food preparation.
Good.
Yeah, because I think my son was 15 when I went to law school. So that's when the slippage started. But every day, because my grandmother was out of the South, you know, a Native American woman out of the South. You know, they didn't believe in restaurant. My grandmother died.
My mama cooked 7 days a week too.
That's right. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was 106 when she made transition. She never ate in a restaurant, ever.
What?
She never? Never. Not one time.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she didn't believe in that. And she
didn't believe in it.
Yeah. And in the summer when we were in the South, I know you know about this, she would go out in the yard and get the chicken.
Oh God.
Yo, you don't know about that one, huh?
No.
She would go get the chicken, kill it, pluck it, cook it. Oh Lord, and I was from Brooklyn, so I was horrified.
I know you were freaked out.
Mm-hmm. But
you know, Ms. Tina, one of the things that I am clear about is that you could not have reared the successful family that you've reared without there being some really powerful parts of you that they leveraged. Yeah. So I want to know what you feel that is in them that came from you.
I think a lot came from me. One is my work ethic. My girls talk all the time about my work ethic because I owned my own business and I worked hard and I did everything in the business. I was a receptionist at one time, the floor sweeper, and so they saw me do whatever it took to be successful, in the business, and just to care about other people. You know, I just taught them to look people in the eye and to treat people the way you want to be treated. And I think the most important thing that they say all the time is, I taught them, and we were just talking about this, interestingly enough, yesterday, Kelly and Beyonce and me and my niece Angie, who are just about raised too, and they were saying, you know, why are women so mean to each other sometimes? And they were telling me about an incident, and I said, because I truly know, if there's nothing else I know, is that this behavior comes kind of naturally to you when you're a kid, because you see the other little girl and she's got prettier clothes than you, or boys like her, or whatever. She got, you know, in my city, fine legs, you know, or whatever. And you're going to have some feelings of this, and how your parents handle those feelings and the lessons they teach you. Yes. I taught them every day, that's not your competition. You are your own competition. You know, don't waste your energy on being jealous of somebody else. Embrace them and try to learn from them. And it sounds corny, like a cliche, but it is so true. And they all said, I say that to people all the time. I don't have time to be worried about, you know, it's funny because Beyonce's choreographer would always say, Beyonce is the first artist I worked with that said, I want the best dancers. I want the prettiest dancers. I want the finest dancers. And he was like, people are usually very intimidated by somebody taking the shine from them, but they were taught from very early to be proud of their sisters, embrace them, and don't be worried about what she's doing over there, do you. And I think that's one of the main lessons I taught them. I really do. I'm proud of that.
I think that so many of us as women are mean to each other because we're raised with a masculine consciousness and not with a consciousness of femininity, of sisterhood, because you're talking about the sister. We're not raised with sisterhood. We're raised with, you know, they got more, you got less. And so, you know, for me, in so many ways as women today, we are so out of order. We are just out of order because we weren't given the tools to stand powerfully, compassionately in our womanhood. And because we spend so much time taking care of each other and we don't take care of ourselves, then we're in high pissosity because we're tired. You know? And run down. Tina, we got a lot of questions coming in. You want to start doing some questions? Because I know they don't want to talk to us. They want to talk to Miss. So here's a good question, Miss Tina, for you. It says, when did you know that you loved art and begin collecting it? When did you know that?
At 19.
Really?
Because I grew up really poor. And so we had pictures of Jesus, you know, in the Last Supper in the house. So I didn't really, I wasn't exposed to art. But when I got my first apartment, I went to a furniture store and I saw how they had the paintings there. So I put my first painting in the layaway. It was a reproduction, but beautiful. And it was $500, which was a lot of money for me. And I kept it in the layaway and I put it in my house. And I realized the joy that it brought me every single day. Like, none of my new pairs of shoes or any of that stuff gave me constant joy, like, and pride in my place. It just pulled everything together. So that was my first piece. And then I went to this art festival and I found my first original piece and it blew me away. And I was 19 and I started collecting just little things that I could afford to collect. And I've been a collector ever since. You get the bug. But I tell young people all the time, don't buy that Gucci bag. Go buy you a piece of art because it's going to go up in value if you do your research. And if it doesn't, you get to enjoy it for the rest of your life. You know, it's never going to go out of style.
Who's one of your favorite artists?
Well, one of my favorite contemporary artists is Robert Pruitt.
Okay.
And he's reminiscent of my oldest favorite artist, who's Charles White.
I'm a Bibb baby. I love me some Charles Bibb.
I like Charles Bibb too. I have Charles.
And I used to like Arthur Fennell. Art Fennell?
Yeah.
Yes. So my daughter was a Fennell person and I'm a Bibb person.
You're a Bibb person?
Yeah.
I have a couple of Bibbs.
I have everywhere. I love him. I mean, I love a lot of art.
Miss Tina, I have actually had the pleasure of being in your WACO theater, and just
Right.
it's like stepping into an artist's haven, because you've got amazing art on the walls, and then you can actually go and see amazing performances of all kind in the theater.
Oh, thank you.
Did you already have a love for art before you and your husband Richard Lawson put together this art gallery experience? I mean,
Absolutely. You know, as far as performing arts goes, my kids in interviews, you'll always hear them talking about the Shape Center, and it was a couple places that they could go, in the Shrine of the Black Madonna.
Oh, yes.
And these were just little places with art on the wall. You could buy art, you could buy Black books, and you could perform, and you could do these things. So it was always a dream for me to open a place like that. But I've been collecting since I was 19. So my house is just filled with art, and as far as visual art. So what we do in the theater is we have a gallery in the front, and young artists can put their art in there. If we have a reception for them, we try to, you know, hook them up with people who can buy the art and give them a start. But I've always bought art supplies for young artists, and I know a lot of them personally, and it's just that place is truly five-dimensional, because you can pull the seats back, the seats go back, and then there's a dance studio there. So people can rent it out, or we let them use it for things. It's got a stage, it's just interchangeable. It's just a little place, but a lot of art comes out of it.
Yeah. Here's a good question for you, Miss Tina. Somebody is asking, what made you decide to marry again after 33 years of marriage?
Well, you know, I believe in marriage. I like marriage. And, you know, it wasn't like I consciously said, oh, I want to get married again, because I swear when I got married at got divorced at 59, I'm like, where are the men my age? They certainly not at the club, or I'm not going to the spot to get them. So I probably will be by myself and, you know, go travel with my kids and enjoy life. I never would have thought that, you know, I would have got married again. But I've known Richard forever. His sister was my very best friend, and she passed away about 20 years ago. And, you know, God just, I did pray that God send somebody in my life, because I wanted to go dancing and have fun. But I wasn't planning on that, but it just happened that way. I believe God sent that to me.
Yeah.
Lots of prayer.
Here's a great question that goes with that. Someone is wanting to know how you stay so fierce and fun-loving.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I got a lot of children. You know, my minister from Houston called me. He said, Tina, you got too many children, because I surround myself with a lot of young people, and they keep me young. They teach me the dances. They tell me the new lingo. So I'm just not all behind, because I'm still talking about boss. You know, that's boss. Y'all remember boss?
Yeah.
Back in your day? Yeah. Anyway,
I tell you,
so they keep me
young.
young, and I just got a young spirit. You know, I just like to dance, and I like to have fun, and I don't take life so seriously and waste my time, you know, judging and all of that. I try to stay as cool as I can.
Yeah. Let me see if we got another. What advice would you give someone?
Here's one that says, what advice will you give on finding your purpose and living your dreams?
Wow. I think, you know, some people are very lucky and they know their purpose very early in life. I wasn't one of those people, because I really didn't have a lot of mentors growing up. But I can tell you that by the time you're a teenager, that you should have some inkling of what you like and what you enjoy and how you can give back to the world. Because I think that's just as important as everything else. You know, you can want to do something. You can want to be an attorney, or you can want to be a teacher. That's giving back. And I think mentors are so important. You know, my husband and I mentor 94 kids at this point, boys and girls. And one of the things that I realize is that sometimes these kids come to us at 12 years old and they have never thought about what they want to do, only because nobody's asked them what they want to do.
That's right.
Or had them to think about it. So I think that you got to find somebody that you admire, whether it's somebody, you know, in your neighborhood, somebody that can kind of nurture whatever you're feeling, but you'll find what you're passionate about. I really do. I think everybody innately knows what they love doing. Sometimes we're just, you know, we have parents that say, oh, you better, you know, like you want to be a painter, and they're saying, you better go try to go to nursing school. Like my mom kept telling me, you need to go to nursing school. I'm like, I pass out when I see blood. Yeah. I'm not going to be a nurse, you know, but you'll find what you like to do. You'll know innately what you follow your dreams, and, you know, hopefully you have some mentor. If it's not your parents, find somebody that will talk to you and encourage what you dream of doing.
But we're so busy today. You know, I often, whenever I speak to young people, I apologize to them because I say my generation, you know, we kind of let them down. We stopped the Sunday night dinners where you could go and get the yellow cake with the chocolate icing and sit around and talk. You know, we're so busy doing so much. But here's a question I want to ask you. You know, you and I got a year on you, but somebody is asking this question. What are your private secret beauty tips that keep this age-defying look going on?
Well, you know, one of the things is I think you have to watch your makeup off. I mean, This sounds trite, but I've been on my girls forever to wash their makeup off, to put a good skincare. If you can't afford anything but oil of Olay, that's what I used all my young days, but I always put a moisturizer on, and I do not go to bed without putting some kind of night cream on my face. That's one of the things. And then, you know, even though we are Black people and we have that myth that the sun is not going to hurt us, the sun is damaging to you. It will age you. Yeah. And I learned that really early. So I wear a hat. I make sure I don't go out in the sun. I exercise. I try to drink a lot of water. Yeah. You know, and just stay active.
You know what, I'm old school. People laugh at me. I use Pond's cold cream to take my makeup off and wash it with Noxzema.
With Noxzema, and your skin is beautiful. Wow. See, you're really blessed, though.
That's old school.
I'm not that blessed. If I did that, I'd probably look like, you know, I would look like I did. But I use a good moisturizer. That's very moisturizing.
I put my money in my moisturizer. Absolutely.
Good. Me too.
I put my money in my moisturizer. But in terms of cleaning, every night, I do not go to sleep with makeup. I do my Pond's cold cream, and I wipe that off. If I can find me some Abilene, because, you know, it's hard to find now. People don't use that.
I remember Abilene.
And then I do my Noxzema, and I got my little brush, and I do my little brush, and then I put my moisturizer on. Now I put my money in my moisturizer.
My sister swears by Pond's. That's all she's ever used. She's 75 years old, and her skin looks better than mine, so it works.
Tina, what do you do? What do you do, Tina?
What you mean, what do I do?
No, the other Tina.
Tina. Tina. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you, I think that one of the most important thing to do is to wash your face at least 2 or 3 times a day.
Really?
Wow. A lot of people just wash their face once a day. But I will not go to bed without washing my face. And the first thing I do when I get up, I wash my face. And I do put on, I moisturize well. And I'm trying to remember the name of this product that I have. I don't remember the name. Vitamin C and vitamin E.
Oh, yeah.
That helps too.
Yeah, I do both of those, you know.
Marula oil is good too. Marula oil is good.
Marula oil?
Marula oil is very good. Yeah, I use that sometimes too. Okay, let me get back to, we done had our own conversation, just left people.
Well, both of y'all look fabulous.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask the question, you know, not only do you represent youthfulness, right? what do you have as your dream going forward?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people stop dreaming.
Yeah.
I never stopped dreaming. Just my dreams change. And now my dreams are, you know, just how I can be useful and contribute to the world. That's the dream now. You know, I'm working on a lot of things. I just kind of put together a testing site, 2 testing sites in Houston, Texas, because people aren't getting tested there. So instead of me, at first I was kind of feeling sorry for myself because I couldn't see my kids and I couldn't see my grandkids. And I was just like, God. But then I said, I'm going to take this time and try to focus on, you know, how I can give back. And once I did, just all these ideas and all these things came to me. And it's been so productive that my dreams now are just to what I can give back. And it's the best feeling, the theater, all of that. I'm living my dream for sure. But my future dreams are, you know, just how I can give back because God has just blessed me so much in my life, you know.
Somebody wants to know, can you talk about your entrepreneurial journey? Because you really are an entrepreneur, even from your business when your children were young. How can you talk about how you become a boss and what is that entrepreneurial journey about?
Right. Well, for me, you know, I opened a hair salon and I'm proud to say that it was like a state of the art. I was always trying to be on the cutting edge of things. I did a lot of research. I visited a lot of salons. I think the most important thing I think in your entrepreneurship is to find a career or a business that's needed. You know, that there's a need and that, yes, you might compete with some people, but what edge can you have in your business? So anything I've ever done, I'm like, how can I have an edge or how can I service a need that nobody else is servicing or very few people? So the landscape of people that's doing it, I'm not competing with a million people. And I think the most important thing is for me has been not to get in a lot of debt.
Yeah.
I started my hair salon with a $10,000 savings that I had, half of it from my savings and half of it from my ex-husband. And with that $10,000, I bought all my equipment. I paid my rent up for 2 months. My deposits, I did all the work myself. I bought used stuff. I reupholstered it. And I didn't owe anybody when I opened. So I could start making money. And I was told over and over, why don't you go get a small business loan and do it big? And, you know, don't write a check that your butt can't cash. That's my biggest advice is start small, be able to contain what you do and grow a little slower. That's my advice.
You know, when I started my body line, my body products, I handmade everything. First of all, because I wanted to know my product.
Right.
I wanted to know what it was. I wanted to make sure it had integrity. And I did. I started small. I tested it on all my friends, just what you're saying. I didn't owe anybody anything. And then I recognized I got to that point where if it was to grow, I had to let it go. But I wanted to let it go in a way where I knew the integrity of the product. I could vouch for it. And, you know, so even now, my business is 13 years old and I'm just starting to market it. I'm just starting to market it.
Really?
I wanted, you know, I'm an obsessive Virgo. I wanted to make sure.
Virgo, I know.
You know, okay?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that everything was lined up and that, like you said, I don't have any debt. I own every bottle, every cap, every pump, every herb, every oil. I own it. So now that it's being manufactured, it's not a burden. I think sometimes we want to grow it so fast and we go into a lot of debt. But 13 years and I'm just now buying a national ad. Just now.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Well, you know, I love as we are coming to a close on this segment, and Lord knows we could talk to you forever. But here's a question that has come up, and maybe this is in light of Mother's Day and in light of how you started the segment talking about realizing that you had to begin to pour into yourself. Someone is asking what you would tell your young self or your young mother self. What would you today tell your younger young mother self? And how would you take better care of yourself based upon that?
Oh, definitely, I wouldn't do a lot different, but I think I would tell myself that I deserve to be happy a lot sooner, you know, because I was not in a great stable marriage, but I felt obligated to stay way longer than I did because I had kids and I was like, oh no, I can't embarrass my kids, or I can't. It's going back to that thing that I know without a doubt, because I've survived the worst things, that I'm gonna be fine. And so what, you know, stop worrying about everything and trying to control everything and let it go, because I am a survivor and I'm gonna be fine. No matter what happens, I will be good.
I don't know why people don't know that. And when you think,
it's hard to tell your young self that.
Yeah.
It really
well,
is.
the young self, right? Because the young self hasn't been through anything yet, and everything is a disaster. you know. But at our age,
looks like a disaster, and you worry a lot about what other people think. And you know, my kids tell me all the time, they're like, "Mama, you just open your mouth and stuff just comes out now. You just, who are you?"
Yeah,
I am just being real, and I really don't give a, you know what, at this point about what somebody thinks about what I'm saying. I'm gonna be respectful and I'm gonna try to keep it classy, but I'm just gonna be real. And you don't find that till I think you get to be like in your 60s.
Yeah, you know why, Miss Tina? Because we can't remember, so we have to do it on the spot. I can't remember. Let me tell you off now because I'll forget later on.
That's funny.
We got to do it right now. Let me have this say right now, you know. So
no, I just think it's you're not as worried about what people, you have earned the right to be yourself, and you don't really value people's opinion as much. You know, that's what I think it is.
And you can't remember what they said anyway.
Well,
we have to take our ginkgo.
Yes, ginkgo. I forget to take mine, Miss Tina.
You forget to take the ginkgo. You got to take the ginkgo to remember to take the ginkgo.
That's right.
That's funny.
I have to tell you that, you know, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to talk to you, the woman that you are, because it reminds all mothers that, yes, pouring into family and kids is everything, but if you leave yourself out, then, you know, you wind up trying to catch up to your life later on. And it's really clear that you have done a beautiful job of catching up to yourself. But I also hear you encouraging people. I love what you said when you said that you would tell yourself to be happy sooner.
Yeah, to be happy. And you don't owe that to the world, you know. But I have to tell you that I'm the biggest Queen Sugar fan. And you are one of my favorites. And I can't wait till it comes back on. I just have to tell you that.
Well, thank you so very much for that. Will you come, if we ask you, will you come back and visit us again?
Anytime. I so enjoyed this.
Oh, fantastic.
I did.
Well, shall Iyanla?
Yeah.
Shall we give her one of your deep bows?
Oh, deep bow to you, Miss Tina. Deep bow.
So that was fun, huh, Iyanla?
It was fun. It really was fun. And she's really down to earth. And I think people forget that, because when they see you're either famous or a mother of a famous person, they make up all kind of stuff about you. And I just hope this is a way for people to know that even though you're on TV, I'm on TV, this is the Queen Bee's mama, that we're just real people. We are real people. I'm sitting here now wondering if my black beans are burning. I don't know. I can't remember if I turned the stove off. I tell you, we can't remember.
Well, you know, I don't know. I really love that she left our audience with the thought of ask yourself what you want.
Yeah.
You know, we owe that to this extraordinary experience called life. And if we don't take a moment to ask ourselves what we want, nobody else is going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Iyanla, we are so blessed.
Yeah.
Right?
We better be blessed up out of here because it's 8:33.
Well, then bless us out of here. Bless us out of here.
All right. So everybody go and have a good week. Miss Tina, you have a good week too. And everybody, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I'm going to bake me a yellow cake with chocolate icing.